Talk with Joe and Cody this Wednesday. I'm going to try to get us on Instagram in a sec. So let me just try this and make sure this all works. So I apologize for my delay
It's technology. Of course it'll work.
I know. It's going great. Okay. I think I have us going live on both now.
All right.
I think I do. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Real Talk with Joe and Cody. My name is Joe Skipper. I'm the owner of Skipper Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty here in Oregon. And I am with my buddy, Cody Wilhelm, with Residential Mortgage out of many states, but you are home based in Washington. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. It's always weird. I being from Oregon, it's always weird to be referred to somebody as a Washingtonian, but
yeah,
here we are.
I don't like it. I don't like it, to be honest with you.
I don't either, but I don't know that it's ever going to change.
Really? You're like this is your hometown then, huh? This is going to be it.
It is mainly because of our home. I don't know that we could find something that we like better than what we have.
Really?
But yeah, I'll still always be an Oregonian at heart.
Nice. Well, yeah, you're always an Oregonian with me, but then I always have to introduce you as someone from Washington, which kind of bugs me. But
yeah,
I'll live.
Yeah.
Hey, I think
only do videos in Washington.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I think for our many fans, including our moms or family members that watch this once in a while. Last week we had some technical difficulties with another program, and
it was
I
a great show,
it got streamed. Yeah, it was so good. And if whoever missed it, I feel so bad because whoever missed it just missed out on one of the best shows we've ever done. But yeah, I think we have it now. I think going on Instagram will be cool because I think it will get a little bit more involvement there, but hopefully that works. Either way, we're talking, so we're going to have a good time today.
Whether anybody's listening or not, we're talking.
Exactly. That's like me in my life, like my family life, everything. At home, I just talk and no one listens, but hey, it doesn't bother me. So
you talk to not expect a response, and then when you do get a response, you're like, oh, hey, someone
is paying attention.
All right. I've got an audience now.
I love it. Well, hey man, I wanted to chat a little bit about with these rates and everything kind of staying unfortunately higher than we wanted them to stay.
Yeah.
I think we were all hoping for lower rates. We had been chatting earlier about kind of different options, especially for in lower income buyers, and not even lower income buyers, but people that need kind of an assistance with the down payment or maybe not cash heavy. And I just wanted to explore some options with you today and kind of see what your thoughts were with that and what sort of programs that Residential Mortgage offers that could help clients that maybe are short on the cash, maybe are qualified, but just would love to have some breathing room, with cash on the end of a closing. So if you kind of want to just start us off, I'll have a billion questions like I always do, and just start us off on what your company offers.
Yeah, perfect. So we have a variety of options. Some of them are state only. So like in Washington, because that's just where I do a bigger chunk of my business. Washington, they have a state program. We call it the Washington Bond, but it's done through the Washington State House and Finance Commission, and it is a down payment assistance loan. So they offer you a second loan to cover what your minimum down payment would be on any loan type that you want. So Oregon has their own bond program as well. The difference in the Oregon bond and the Washington bond program are that Washington bond is open, generally speaking, to any lender. Like the lender has to do their legwork to get approved through them, but then as a loan officer, you can take the testing that you need to and get approved for that. Oregon, to my knowledge, has not been adding any new lenders for years and years and years. I've been trying to get on with them for a long time, and they're just not accepting any new people. But there is an Oregon bond program. There's just a small pool of lenders that are eligible to offer that program, but it's similar program. A lot of the state-sponsored programs like this are of the same variety, where they are offering you say it's an FHA loan or a conventional loan. So you have your first loan that is the standard loan type, and then you have a second loan that is the down payment assistance portion of it. So you're financing in your second loan, which is your down payment. And a lot of them, like the Washington bond version, there's no payment that's due on the second loan. You make your normal payment on the first, and then once you pay off the home, once you sell, once you refinance, that second loan is then due. So it's just something that whenever we have clients that are doing it, we just kind of walk them through the process, educate them on what to expect, how it works. It's not just, yes, it's free money in the sense that there's no interest on that second loan, but you do have to eventually pay it back whenever you move on to the next thing. So most states have a program like that. And then we have a couple other options. Um, One of them is a grant program that I can't remember if we've talked about it before or not, but it is
I
a
think so.
grant program. Yeah, so it covers just about every state that we can lend in, and it's not affiliated with a certain state or a program necessarily. It has very similar qualifying criteria. It's income based, and there's a credit score is pretty minimal on what you need to get into it, but it's primarily income based. So, but it's going to get you a $15,000 grant, and
Hmm.
that one is the type that will be forgiven after 5 years. So as long as you stay in the home, it's prorated. So every month you make your payment, your amount that is due back to them if you were to move slowly gets lower and lower. And then after 5 years, it's just completely forgiven. So that's a great option too. That can be used for closing costs and down payment, as well as the bond program. And then we have another option that we call residential 100, which is essentially our option for Oregon and some of these other states that we lend in that we're not able to get on their state sponsored bond program. It is it's done through a program that probably a lot of lenders are aware of, NHF. That's a program that's kind of been out there for years, and so we're able to partner with them and do that to be able to provide the same assistance, but just not part of the state sponsored program, but the same rules, same effect essentially.
So the NHF, can you explain that?
Yes. So NHF, I mean, for as long as I have been doing loans for the last 10 years, it's kind of come and gone. It's National Homebuyers Fund. And I believe it started out as a California based down payment assistance program. And then it kind of somehow exploded and turned into more of a national thing. But the way that it works is well, they've kind of changed the terms on how it works over the years. For a little while there, it was if you lived in the house for 2 years, then the amount that they had given you was forgiven. But it's a similar process in the sense that it's typically income based and credit. So as long as you fit those parameters, then you can get it. And then if you live in the home for a certain period of time, then it's forgiven. They have two versions. They have one that's a grant that will be forgiven, and then they have a second loan that is not forgivable, but doesn't have payments on it. So it's kind of a mix match depending on what your situation is, because each one has its own benefits. One might have a payment, one might not have a payment. So kind of just figuring out what works individually for each person.
Okay. And it sounds like it's probably hard to overgeneralize, but is there a certain income level in general that you can say that someone has to be able to qualify for sort of
Yeah,
this sort of
for
stuff, or it's
yeah for the
probably hard to
it
say?
It is because it kind of goes per area and family size, but I would say in general, if you make over 85,000 a year, there's probably a good chance that you make too much for the program.
Okay.
But again, if your family size, like a family of five, it might take your income limit up to 115,000. So it really just depends on the household size, and that can be kids. It doesn't have to be adults. It can be it's just household income for some of the programs. So um, with say like a Washington bond program, it's not household income. It is who is on the loan income, if that's even a
Mm,
term. But if you have somebody, say they make, because those programs have an income limit as well. It's just a much
yeah.
higher limit. But say you didn't need to count the overtime income, you can exclude the overtime income, and it doesn't put them over the threshold, and they can still qualify for the loan. Then you're good to go. They just go based off of what your qualifying income is. Whereas some of these that are more grant based, where they can be forgiven, they are really truly trying to find the people that are kind of lower to moderate income to be able to help them. So
Okay.
it's similar
Is
to
that
USDA. Like USDA has a household income where even if you had an 18-year-old kid living at home, they weren't on the loan, but they had a part-time job and they made $800 a month.
okay.
You have to count that when it comes to qualifying. It doesn't help you to qualify for the mortgage, but it hurts, it counts against your income for the program because they're looking specifically for people that are that fit the box for that and truly are in need as opposed to somebody that maybe they might need it, but not as bad as the other people need it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, is that something like is it specific, obviously specific state to state, but is it specific
mhm.
to a neighborhood or a home value? I guess the home value is going to coincide with the income level, but
Yeah.
is there is it specific homes in a specific neighborhood, or is it just as long as you can afford this home wherever it
Mhm.
is, you can qualify for that?
Yeah, yep. So they're not region based. It's not like USDA, like we were talking about earlier. It is specifically for rural areas. So if it's outside of that area, it doesn't count. There's another program in Portland. Trying to remember the name of it. Proud Ground, I think is the name of it. That one is one where it is specific to certain homes instead of like even areas. But what we have that we can offer is not specific to a certain area or region. They are state based, but as long as you're within that state, then
Okay.
you're good to go. So they might have restrictions on the property type. Like some might lend for a manufactured home, and others might not. Or they're not gonna do it for land loans. It's going to have to be a structure, a home itself. But no, there's no neighborhood specific region or anything like that.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think those are good options. Hopefully, it was helpful to people that might be a little cash strapped or low income to potentially get into something that they didn't think they could get into. So, if you have any more
Hmm.
questions, give Cody a call and he can chat with you about whether you make too much money or you're right in that range and can qualify for something like that. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those programs are awesome too because we've ran into it many times where you go into it and the seller is paying some, if not all, of the closing costs. The program covers your down payment. By the time the transaction's done, they're actually getting their earnest money back. So they are in it the cost of the home inspection. So
that's
they just
cool.
bought a house for $500 out of pocket.
That's cool.
So
That's really
not to
nice.
say that
That can be
happens
really
every
nice.
time, but it's also not super uncommon. So
No, I agree. I agree, especially in this market where things are just sitting on the market longer. You have a little more negotiating power as a buyer, and so
yeah,
yeah, definitely a possibility for people. So that's cool. Thanks, Cody.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
well, that's all I have for you, sir.
What what's new on your side of the bridge? You're sick again,
In
but
Oregon, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what is going on with me. I thought I was fine. My daughter has a cold, and so I thought "Nah, I've just had my bout of sickness, and now I got it again. So yeah,
Eesh.
serves me right. I don't have your wife's
Yeah,
concoction. Whatever she
gin
she
ginger
does.
and honey and I don't even know. It just
I
like
need it.
it sits in the fridge and it like smokes and it boils and
I need to deep dive into that because yeah, if I get sick again, in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be coming over. I'll actually head
yeah.
to Washington, which I don't wanna
Yeah.
do
I
to
don't I
like
don't blame you. I think I'll ask her so that
uh,
we can let everybody know next time. I think
yes.
honestly all it is just a jar of honey and then there's just garlic cloves in it and it just
Huh.
sits in it. It just marinates in there and then
And
you
this is
just
just
take
drinking it, right?
this is more of like take the garlic out and then cut it up and just swallow it or I mean cuz unless you just want to eat the garlic but
Wow.
it's
This
something
is
about the
intense.
honey and the garlic together. I mean I
I
will say though,
we need to get her on the next podcast
yes,
and
the
explain
first
her
time I
ways.
took it, it was like I had a full head of hair, and then I took it, and here
I
we
like
are.
them,
So
but I like both things. I like honey and I like garlic. I
oh
just
yeah,
that sounds pretty intense.
it is
So,
pretty good. Yeah,
but
good
if it's
on
gonna
good on
stop a
chicken wings
sickness,
too.
then, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
But yes, sick, but we've got basketball clearing up here with Rory in a couple weeks, and then
All
baseball starts
right.
up. So, yeah, we're ready to
Boy,
go.
do you have an off season when it comes to kids
No.
sports?
No,
No.
not at this age. Once he's hit this age, he's in competitive everything, so
I
and
love
then
it.
once that happens, he wants football next in the summer. So, yeah. So here we go.
Yes.
On
Good,
to the
good.
next. Well, thank
I
you, man.
like it.
Thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
and,
Yep.
yeah, we will have some good stuff for you. We'll have some good stuff next week, I think.
Yeah. Well, I hope you feel
Okay.
better, man.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to end these things and, end them the right way, but
Yeah.
technology is all over the place, but
Just ask
anyways, thanks, man.
Alexa. Yep. All right, man. All right. We'll see you.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.